He leadeth me, O blessed thought, O words with heavenly comfort fraught. Whate'er I do, where'er I be, still 'tis God's hand that leadeth me. He leadeth me by His own hand. He leadeth me. His faithful follower I will be, for by His hand He leadeth me. Lord, I would clasp Thy hand in mine, nor ever murmur, nor repine. Content whatever lot I see, since 'tis Thy hand that leadeth me. He leadeth me by His own hand. He leadeth me. His faithful follower I would be, for by His hand He leadeth me. And when my task on earth is done, when by Thy grace the victory's won, He leadeth me by His own hand. He leadeth me. His faithful follower I would be, for by His hand He leadeth me. For by His hand He leadeth me.
Hey everybody, Welcome to Vespers. We're so glad that you have joined us this evening when we have another chance to get together and to remember that we're not alone, that we're still all in this together. So as we begin this evening, we're going to light this candle, celebrating the presence of Christ who is in us, among us, and beyond us. And also remembering all of those in our community of faith and in our community as well who are suffering this evening. So we thank you so much for being here. Earlier today, I'm not a big sports guy. We often find out how little I know about sports whenever I try to make comments about that. But more recently, mostly because of Jake and his involvement in baseball, I have gotten into watching Reds baseball. And there was an amazing game that took like 14 hours today that I had on, and was very frustrating to watch if you were rooting for the Reds. But all this to say, in the midst of this, as I'm watching and I'm realizing things about sports for the first time, I think about how important it is to be able to let things go. When something bad happens, whenever you make a mistake, being able to accept that for what it is and not let that become part of your identity, and then to be able to move on is a really important thing to be able to do, which really is exemplified really well in the midst of a ball game. It's easy to see that play out. I have a tendency to ruminate on things, and Melissa is privy to a lot of those ruminations, and well, let's just be honest, she's much wiser than I am. And she often will ask me, is this line of thinking helpful? Where is this going to take you? And that's a good question to think about sometimes. Sometimes where our line of thinking will lead us to is not to the positive and helpful places that we want to go. And so, as in sports, as in life, wherever we find ourselves, it's important to remember the grace of God. To remember that we're accepted just as we are, and we are made in the beautiful and wonderful image of God. Accepting that, along with our faults and failures, allows us maybe the freedom to move into those more beautiful and hopeful spaces that we want to be involved in. Anyway, tonight we have the opportunity to talk with Kara Kilpatrick and Gino Smith. You may remember Kara and Gino from their music. Often they would share with hammered dulcimer and guitar in our services. And recently they moved to Alabama, to Birmingham, to be closer to family. They actually got really close to family, living in the same house. While they were with us in Lexington, Gino was a chaplain at St. Joe East, and Kara was a fellow in working in psychiatry. And now that they're in Alabama, Kara's continuing her work in psychiatry. And Gino, I think, has found a lot of projects to work on in their house right now as well. So we're excited to get to connect with them, to get to see how things are going in Alabama, and continue the relationship we have with them this evening as we talk together. So, without further ado, let's go talk with Kara and Gino. Hey, Kara and Gino, how are you all doing?
Hey, we're good, Aaron.
Doing good. Good to see you.
Good, it's good to...
Hey, by the way, look at this. We're thankful for you there, buddy.
Oh, well, thankful for you all, too. I don't have a special mug that says it, though. Give me just a minute. I'll be right back with one. But it's so good to get to see you guys. It was so strange, you all moving in the midst of pandemic, because we hadn't gotten to see each other too much before you had to move. And now you're in Birmingham, right?
Yeah, Birmingham, Alabama.
Absolutely. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
We were talking this morning. I think Kara said, if you'd have told me a year ago that
or a couple of years ago,
we'd be in Birmingham buying my parents' home, remodeling basement. No way.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of change really quick to find yourself in. So,
oh yeah.
What have things been like for you all since the move right now? What are you all doing? What have you found yourself getting into?
Jump in, babe.
Well, yeah. So I told Gino this morning that what we really needed to do, to show you guys is everything in the basement, that we should just show you the basement, because that would be enough of a statement about what our life has been like. Kind of a visual demonstration of, the last 3-4 months since we've moved. And he's been real resistant. But
but it's so close to Halloween. I feel like we should probably move on to Thanksgiving, because, it looks scary down there. There's 2x4s, drywall, insulation, and most of the stuff down there is not our stuff. The stuff that we need to get out.
This is a house that was built in 1973, 72, 73, and it's just been collecting things ever since.
Right.
73, the year of our Lord. The same year Kara was born.
Yeah.
73. Wow. What age was I?
He was 16 years old.
Right, yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
This is
So basically, if you can, I was the older one, she was the younger one. But 30-something years later, it was okay.
And then this is our relationship now.
right.
It's so true. It is so.
I go, come on, honey, kick the ball. You can kick the ball. You really can.
Wow. That mug really does say it all. There have been moves and changes every 4 year of our life, our married life. Yes.
Our first 5 years were stable.
Show them
Or
the mug
6.
again. Seriously. You want to see how I feel?
Do you want to show them the basement at all? Now that we've gone through all this.
Oh,
No.
But then
There's no
that
pressure
way
on
it would
this
be
end. There's some intrigue that's being created now.
okay. Well, let's go on a little tour.
Okay,
It could get shaky.
So do you want to go ahead and make sure that Aaron is seeing what we're attempting to show him?
I'll go ahead.
And then you've been working. He's been working so much. He's really the one who should take on the tour. And the little dog was just underfoot, but I did not step on him.
Now, did we say that this is? Did we say that this is Kara, the house Kara grew up in? And
Yes.
okay, yeah.
I'm not sure we did.
Okay, yeah.
So this is
So this is the basement, soon to be the entrance to our part of the home.
so it's scary. This will eventually be our kitchen. You can see some cabinets down here, but I don't think it was ever a kitchen. It was just
There was always hope that it would be a kitchen if somebody needed it, but
Right.
it just never happened that way.
And we'll take a pan here, but
I'll try to do it slowly as to not discombobulate any of our viewers.
This is not nearly as scary as you all made it out to be.
Well, you haven't seen everything here.
Okay.
it's scary.
I'll take you all that they've
Oh wow.
All right. So here it is.
Storm shelter. So yeah, there's been a lot of water damage, and we're doing some water mitigation. October the 5th, I'll be drilling down here, putting in some drainage and sump pump, and we'll be killing mold. But we're gonna have kind of
or the mold will be killing us. We'll see.
We're praying for your safety right now.
Thank you. And so,
Here's bathroom.
For what walls are left.
Yeah.
So this is kind of.
So was this all drywalled and stuff when you started, or?
It was all drywalled. It was all like what you see here.
Yeah.
But with another drywall in front of it. I'll kind of take you through. This is scary bathroom.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
we're pretty excited. We're going to use.
That's awesome.
Very open concept. I'm working for a lot of people right now. My wife, my in-laws, my brother, the architect, who's got me taking measurements, driving me nuts. I'm trying to kick out 2x4s, and he wants me to take measurements upstairs. I have gotten help from my brother-in-law and my father-in-law and my uncle,
his uncle-in-law.
My uncle-in-law.
Because they live next door in the house that you can't see, but it's like it's just right there. Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting way there. This used to be farmland, but they like to do the fun stuff. When they're working with me, I do more of the grunt work, like pulling nails, and they're swinging, sledgehammers, the fun stuff. I'm sweeping floors.
Right.
But when I'm doing it, I get to swing.
Right.
And sweep the floors.
We're getting there.
That is so much work, though. That is so much to get done.
It's definitely a lot of work. Yeah, and we've had a lot of help from my brother-in-law, his brother-in-law, my uncle who lives right behind us. My dad, of course, has been here doing stuff, and so a lot of demolition.
I tell you what, our first trip to the landfill really got my heart. That was quite. It hit me hard. As much as this story's probably not. This is something we talked about in our Zoom meetings with our class. But we were talking about earlier about taking down this huge pine tree. We didn't take it down. Our uncle took it down, and how it hit us because it had been there for
a lot longer than any of us.
Yes, and it was huge.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was kind of in the way visually of the driveway, and
so taken down for safety.
Yeah. So my point I'm trying to make is, as much as that hit Kara and me, seeing this landfill, and as we're adding,
truckload
of drywall, I'm going like, wow, the stuff we buy and the stuff we get rid of. How I wish I could recycle all this. It hit me. It really did.
Yeah.
Nothing like seeing a landfill to really think, wow. Oh, wow, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's it doesn't look nearly as tragic as you had said, and the work is amazing. So I still have some work that needs to be done on my basement. So when you're done there, if you want to come up here, so you just
travel expenses, meals,
right,
Lodging.
Coffee, fun mugs. Yeah.
Mugs, yes. You can add to our Peanuts collection.
Any of that.
That's great. Well, we've seen a little bit about what Gino's been doing. What's been going on with you, Kara?
So I have mainly been working, I would say, and sometimes I don't feel like I'm working as much either. And this is Riley, so Riley will say hi. He was wanting to get up and be closer to us. But I started work at UAB. I'm finishing my child and adolescent psychiatry fellowship. I have one more year. And so I have been getting used to electronic health records and being at a couple of different facilities for that. And actually, I work at the Student Health Center at UAB. So that's like one set of records and way of doing things. And then at UAB, that has another set of electronic health records and another process for doing things. And then Children's of Alabama, which has another electronic health record and things like, and I guess you could say some things about healthcare. You can kind of insert your comments about healthcare here and how efficient it is and stuff like that. But it has been a little bit different starting in the midst of COVID, where when I usually am getting to a place, there's usually like the person who kind of knows how to do everything, and you just go and bug them whenever you have no idea like what the procedure or whatever is. And all of that's had to be done either through email or text messages or whatever. And it was a slower process for getting started up and getting going. But that's been that's, it's at a decent place now. And then I've started doing a little moonlighting work to help us fund all the things that we need to do in our basement. So there are a couple of different places that I've been working, and it's all new, so it's a little more stressful.
Yeah. Gina's not bringing home any income.
Which, and it's not stressful because of that. It's more stressful. It's just, it's 2 additional groups of people who are doing psychiatric care, and again, just learning 2 additional kind of ways that things are done.
Yeah.
So
yeah, trying to fit in those systems is hard.
5 different bosses, so to speak, with just kind of figuring things out, which isn't so bad. Like, I spent the majority of my life, I would say, doing an array of jobs and activities that switched pretty regularly. And I did temp work for years and really enjoyed it. So I kind of it keeps me from getting bored.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it would be pretty hard to be bored with 5 different bosses.
That would drive me crazy. I say Kira has this platter, and there's always room for something else on that platter.
It's the magic platter. It just gets a little bit bigger for whatever else want to add in there. I'd always ready for another little helping of something.
The one thing on my plate, give me that. Give me a rut, I'll get in it, and I'll be fine. Change the rut, that's okay. It's a little shaky, but give me another one, and I'll stay in that one.
Right, yeah. That's why it works, Yeah. Well, that is so much, and so much, change and flux right now. But
in the midst of kind of moving in with mom and dad.
Yeah,
right. There's that too.
My mom and dad are still in the house, and
they'll stay in the house.
And they'll stay in the house. They'll stay in the upstairs portion. But they were kind enough that when we said, "Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to come in. We'll buy your house. We need to redo the basement. But we need a place to kind of call our own in the space that's upstairs." They let us take out furniture from a couple of rooms, put in our stuff. They gave us kind of what had been their pantry, laundry area. We cleaned that out. I mean, it's still the laundry area, but we have our own refrigerator because they had an extra one. You can never have too many refrigerators, I guess, or freezers for that matter.
Especially not right now.
Yeah, exactly. The apocalypse and all, but it's but they cleaned it. So we have a space kind of for our cooking stuff and our own food and things like that. So they've been very gracious to let us kind of move things around.
Right, and some of the backstory, which probably hasn't been mentioned here, is that they were having some pretty serious health issues. And so that's why we made this move in the first place, because they had come to a place where they just could not keep up this place, and their own health was suffering. As a matter of fact, when we first got here, Kira's mom went right into the hospital for about a week.
Yeah, she was in.
And then got a long home therapy process, and now she's whistling again, which is a sign that she's doing good.
Yeah.
And drove for the first time. You probably didn't know this, alone the other day, last week. So has really done well. And I think Riley has brought a lot of life back into the home, and hopefully we have too, and we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the maintenance around the home, that's been a big thing, as well as the basement. And so I've taken on a more supportive role. So when things get a little overwhelming, I kind of remind myself, okay, the whole purpose we moved here was to take care of mom and dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, just keep that as priority. That's why we're doing this.
Oh. And so it's good. Like,
Yeah.
it's nice to wake up in the morning and, you know, sometimes it's just dad, sometimes it's mom and dad. And they come in and, you know, they're kind of shuffling in these days just because of age and, you know, stage and stuff. But they shuffle in and they sit in their chairs. And I'm like, hey, I'm making coffee. You want some coffee? And they're like, oh, sure, I'll take a cup. You know, so
Yeah.
it's just kind of nice. Like, it's kind of nice to be able to do that with them, and just to, you know.
Yeah,
Be
and
with
maybe like any good marriage, I think, you know, you have your own space, maybe, and you have this dance where you're together sometimes, you're apart sometimes, and really because of our schedule, you know, early morning more, they're later morning, and you know, they're late night, we're probably getting to bed earlier. You know, we have this time where we kind of cross, but we have these separate times and separate space too. So it actually works, I think, extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
well,
I mean, there are
great.
times when it doesn't work. I mean, come on, it's life, right? But let's not be like, oh, this is all you know, daisies and rainbows.
Let's be rainbows and daisies. Why not?
So you know, let's be real. I mean, we are living in relationship, you know, with other humans, but.
I was talking about the relationship with mom and dad, not our relationship.
To a whole other level. Whoa!
Okay, things are getting real now. I'm just going to settle in. Let's just go with it. Well, yes. I mean, anytime that, you know, folks have had, you know, to move in with, you know, extended family and stuff, that presents that's a lot of dynamics for anybody to work through. So the fact that you can find some, like, any peace and normalcy in the midst of that is, I think, is pretty awesome. You know.
Yeah.
When's this going on? Not yet.
Yeah.
So we're either in the honeymoon stage or we're doing pretty good. Maybe both.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Time will tell. Time will tell. But you know, another fun thing. So my aunt. I was thinking April.
Oops.
And whoops. April is my sister, but my sister and my brother-in-law they live very relatively close by, so we have the opportunity to see them pretty regularly. But one of the fun things that we've been able to do is have breakfast here in this area that we're sitting in right now. During the summer, we'll fix breakfast, and my sister and brother-in-law come over, and my mom and dad, you know, shuffle down to this area, and we have breakfast on Saturday mornings.
Oh,
it's been
that
so
is
nice.
Fun. That is fun. I mean, grits, eggs, bacon, usually some kind of bread item, either
biscuits, waffles.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
good.
Scones.
Oh,
And
wow.
then, you know, coffee, of course, and orange juice. And
Yeah.
just it's great, and to feel the breeze because it is kind of nice and breezy down here. It's been fun to do that, and that's something we haven't had in really all of our married life because of our moves from Memphis to east in St. John's City to Lexington, which we treasure those years there, and then here. So to have this,
like family, you know, and just be able to be around and be with them. And
it's been
it's been good. And let me just, for Justin Levins, if he is watching this, because I don't think I ever told him this, he put us on to the sourdough English muffin recipe from King Arthur.
Oh, yeah.
And we used that and did Eggs Benedict, one of those Saturday morning breakfasts.
Yeah.
It was so good. So thank you, Justin, for telling us.
Oh, that's awesome.
To use that recipe. It was very good. Yes.
This sounds like an important blog post that needs to go out so that we can get everybody else turned on to the sourdough English muffin.
Yeah, that's right. Good stuff. So.
Oh, that's great.
I was just thinking that I did overcook the eggs a little bit, quite a bit actually.
Oh, that particular day. You know, you're supposed to have poached eggs, right, that you put on top of the and so there's a way that you can do it in a muffin tin, and you do it in the oven, and you can do multiple eggs at one time instead of like in a pot boiling. I mean,
like
it gets very messy. Anyway, like 12.
Yeah.
And so we had put them in, and they were supposed to be in for 10 minutes. And so at the end of 10 minutes, I was working on some other stuff, and I was working on the hollandaise sauce that I was making because I had never done that before. And I was just like, okay, because I was having to stir the sauce.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, honey, how do they look? And he was like, I don't think they're done yet. I think we need to, keep cooking them. And so like 20 minutes later, I'm like, honey, how do they look? And he's like, I don't know that they're done yet. And I'm like, honey, we were only supposed to have them in there for 10 minutes. They have to be done.
Yeah.
They have to be done.
They were pretty done.
Like a hard-boiled egg done in a parboiled or
all that runny yolk.
no runny yolk for us.
We're gonna do that
day.
one again.
Yeah.
I'll pull them out at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or something.
It just takes practice.
When you have an ox, things get messy.
Yeah, but without an ox, the stable is clean. Right,
There you go.
But
There
with
you go.
an ox, there is much benefit.
That's right.
Proverbs, baby. There's your devotional, Aaron.
Oh,
I was like,
hang on to your ox. Get stable clean. Anything.
My ox. I love my ox.
I was like, I honestly have no recollection of that proverb at all. And I guess that probably shouldn't be that surprising. I thought, is this a haiku?
No, it is the devotional from Proverbs during this Vespers time with Gino and Kara. So
I think the first time I brought that proverb to Kara was when I broke a couple things in the kitchen. I'm known to break things
So when we got married and we were getting our
Here we go.
china sets,
Here we go.
I knew enough at that point in time to be like, we need 12 place settings. Normally you get like 8, right? Because that's what the magic number. I don't know why 8, but it's just 8. And so we got 12 because I knew my sweet husband had a tendency to break things.
You did hear that, sweet husband, right? I do have that tendency. I do.
Yeah.
It slips out of my hands.
It just goes, oops. And then a crash.
Yeah, I have that tendency too.
Yeah.
My mother's favorite term, well, maybe not favorite, but it was uttered quite often in my presence, was "bull in a china closet."
Yeah.
That's what I was described as quite often as a child, and it continues to this day.
Melissa says that. So now
Yeah,
you can say, Melissa, without an ox, the stable is clean, but with an ox, there is much benefit.
Right. Yeah, there's
Right,
always a
yeah.
bull market at our place.
Yeah. Well, that means I'm gonna have to do more basement work
All right,
then.
reel us back in, Aaron. Reel us back in.
I don't even know. No. Well, I usually ask, what have you been doing to stay sane? And I'm not sure how much sanity is going on right here. No, what I'm really
Sanity.
No,
Never.
but like you guys sound so busy.
That's why we stay
No,
so
that's-
steady all the time.
That's a good question. We sometimes we walk early in the
Oh
morning.
yeah, we do try to walk in the morning, and we get our exercise.
Yeah, we try to do that. Bike ride on Saturday out at Oak Mountain State Park, beautiful park. So I've started riding again, which has been fun, so much fun.
Road biking, not mountain biking.
Yeah, none of that.
Right.
No, it's
Yeah.
pedal power.
And pedal power on the road.
Yeah, and running hills, riding hills,
Pretty tough.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
hilly in Birmingham.
that's-
So getting that old cardio going again.
It's good. Yeah.
Although, at the same time, getting the cardio going again, I have eaten more barbecue and more bacon since.
And more like milkshakes, ice
milkshakes,
cream.
pimento cheese. I tell you what, I've been on a cholesterol high, maybe overload.
Very
Since our arrival, it's been seriously over the top.
But he like works 12 hours a day every day, like tearing up the basement or, doing stuff around the house and
not every
in the
day.
yard.
I usually take a Saturday, Sunday, kind of chill on those days.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So,
anyway,
Yeah.
that's been helpful to keep us sane.
Yeah.
And of course Netflix.
Binge watching things. We're watching Eureka right now. It's a little campy and very.
Oh, I love that show.
Thousands, but yeah.
It's fun.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I loved Eureka. We watched it all like years ago, and then I started it back again not too long ago. So yeah, it's hokey as can be, but I love the mystery of the week kind of thing,
Just never know. Like what's gonna blow up, or what alien invasion, or what new experiment is gonna go awry, right?
Yeah.
In Section 5.
Exactly.
So
putting a hook out there for Eureka, which I don't know, when was that filmed?
We thought early 2000s because they just had the flip phones and like they were all tiny. Like that was going to be the wave of the future.
Yeah.
Hello. No, it's just getting bigger again.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I think it was around that time, early to mid aughts, So and because we watched it a while ago. And we found it like, I guess it was a sci-fi show or something, and but that was it was pretty fun. So, well, have you watched anything? Do you have any other good recommendations for TV shows, books, anything like that? Interesting games that are Alabamian in nature that Kentuckians would know about.
Besides football, and Kentucky unfortunately lost to Auburn in Alabama just this last weekend. I have been told.
Yeah.
So.
That's excellent.
I was sorry for the Kentucky boys. Because I'm an Alabama fan, right? So usually we want whoever plays Auburn to win. But.
Right. Yeah.
No competitive nature here.
Yeah.
No competitive nature. And so anyway, there's that. Any other recommendations? I mean,
no, not as far as Netflix or movies.
Because we watched something not too long ago that we were like, oh, that's pretty good, but I can't remember what it was.
Well, it must not have been that good then. So
yeah, I know. We're not like, oh my gosh, you gotta.
Honestly,
and Kara does a lot of.
No, I was just saying. Honestly,
Kara does a lot of.
No, you go.
No, please. Okay, I was gonna say Kara does a lot of journaling, and that's kind of another thing that helps.
Outlet.
And I've been really paying attention to my dreams, so I've got my dream to look at.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I still do dance via my Irish dancing school in Kentucky. So they do everything via Zoom. So I'm doing that. And I'm still doing music. Like I've been learning to play the violin. Really, I'd prefer, it's really the fiddle. I'm doing Irish music. So it's the fiddle, not the violin, right? I've been taking lessons with a person that I met through my dance school, and that was a part of the Irish school that we went to in Cincinnati. And we still do sessions with the people in Cincinnati with music too, because everything is still via Zoom.
Yeah.
So been able to keep those connections up, which has been nice. And then you were talking about books. I told y'all in Thursday school this past week, the book that I have been reading, I have 3 on my shelf, and some of them are, kind of silly. But the one that's not silly that I think has been really nice has been Richard Rohr's Falling Upward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was something that I actually bought for a book club back when we were living in Memphis prior to 2012. And like everybody was reading it, and I was supposed to read it, but I just never did. But I kept it all of these years, right? It's been on the shelf. And so I pulled it out now that we've moved here, and I love it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there. That's
great. Well, that's one that I started like the first page of one time, and not that I didn't like it, but just one of those things that just didn't, I just did not continue. I did not continue with it. And so I need to get back and read that.
Well, I think books, there are like stages and times for certain books, right?
Yeah.
And certain books, it's just like sometimes with friendships, relationships, there are kind of stages and times for those things. And so I tried to read Falling Upwards, prior to 2012 when they were starting at the church, and it just kind of fell flat because I wasn't ready for it yet, I don't think. And so now, kind of reading it now, I feel like I'm in the space that I'm ready to hear what it has to say.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And I take it in small doses. I follow Richard Rohr in his Center for Contemplation and Action, I believe.
Yeah.
And so I kind of get him on a daily basis, and then I'll read a chapter. So it's been stretching and thought-provoking. So.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you all taking time out to do this, and it's such a joy to get to see you all and to get to talk with you.
It's great to see you.
I know we've gotten to talk some on Thursday school and stuff, but it's been missing getting to hang out and just talk in the hallways and see how you all are doing and discuss things and find strange metaphors in Writer's Workshop. And maybe we'll start that back again soon, via Zoom. We'll see. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. But it's been so great to talk with you all, and you all stay safe down there in Alabama, and we'll be looking forward to hearing from you all again, and keeping in touch with you on Sundays.
Well, can we offer a final word that you won't edit out?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, see, we're thankful for you. And we really are, Aaron. Thank you so much for all that you do for Central and for us personally. It's always good to see you on a week-by-week basis. So.
Oh, well, thank you all.
I'm glad we're staying connected.
Well, I appreciate. I was distraught when I heard you all were moving, and in the midst of the pandemic, there's been these other connections open up that I don't know we would have been, have availed ourselves of otherwise, and so, I'll accept that as a blessing in disguise in the midst of things, So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So thank you all so much, and tell your family and all yours, hi from Central Baptist Church.
Yes.
All right. Love you, Central Baptist people.
Yes, love you.
Okay, we'll see y'all. Bye.
Bye, Aaron.
Thank you so much, Kara and Gino, for taking the time out to hang out with us. It really, truly is a joy to get to see you all again, to get to talk with you. You're still very much a part of the life of our congregation, and we're grateful for that bit of blessing to us in the midst of our pandemic and everything else that we're going through right now. It really is a joy to still get to be connected with you all. So thank you so much for your time and for the beauty in life that you bring to our family of faith as well. Well, tonight we usually take time to sing a song. So let's sing a song. Actually, this is a song, the tune of which Kara and Gino played in our service before. I'm pretty sure that it's a Celtic tune or something called Wild Mountain Thyme, and this is a song from... Spirit, open my heart to the joy and pain of living As you love, may I love in receiving and in giving. Spirit, open my heart. God, replace my stony heart with a heart that's kind and tender. All my coldness and fear, to your grace I now surrender. Spirit, open my heart to the joy and pain of living. As you love, may I love in receiving and in giving. Spirit, open my heart. May I weep with those who weep, share the joy of sister, brother, in the welcome of Christ. May we welcome one another. Spirit, open my heart to the joy and pain of living. As you love, may I love in receiving and in giving. Spirit, open my heart. Spirit, open my heart. Spirit, open my heart. Well, thank you so much for being here this evening. Thanks for taking time out of your day to be with us as we continue to connect with one another and to remind each other that we're not alone. Your comments in the chat, your ability to continue to bring life in the midst of the troubles that we all are experiencing is a beautiful thing, and it truly is a blessing and a joy to get to be part of this family of faith. There's other ways to connect as well. If you'd like to get involved in a Sunday school class or a Thursday school class or another group that's meeting like our baby boomers group, you can go to lexcentral.com/Zoom and you can find some folks you can contact there to get involved in those other ways. Also, we have a prayer meeting that meets just before this at 6:30 on Wednesdays. You're welcome to be part of that as well. There's a link in the top of all of our newsletters so that you can join with us there, offer prayer requests, pray for each other, and find out a little bit more about what's going on at Central. There's other ways, other groups that we're working on as well to help folks stay involved and to continue to keep in touch during this time. But we'll be back here again on YouTube on Sunday for our worship service at 11 o'clock. So we invite you to join us then as we begin a new series going through Philippians and some of the words of Paul, and this Sunday thinking about our identity in Christ, about living into the grace that God has provided for us. So thanks again for being the beautiful family of faith that is helping to sustain us at this time as we look to God for hope and for peace and for comfort. And we'll see you again soon. So go in peace.